It's the last day of my 50s. Yesterday, and the day before, there was quite a big storm here, lots of rain, and I could see quite a bit of debris over there on the beach. But I was just watching an eagle soaring in the wind. I think I'm live. Okay, well, I am standing by and waiting for my dear friend, Marie.
The Christian music community continues to mourn the loss of beloved Canadian worship leader and songwriter Brian Doerksen, whose songs inspired millions of believers around the world for more than 3 decades. Best known for timeless worship anthems such as ** Come, Now is the Time to Worship ** Griffiners Fire *, and Faithful One *, Brian's passing has left an immeasurable void in churches and worship ministries across the globe. Yet even in his final days, those closest to him say his greatest testimony was not found in a song, but in the remarkable faith, gratitude, and peace he displayed until the very end. Brian had only recently revealed that he had been diagnosed with stage 4 cancer after months of severe pain and medical uncertainty. As news of his illness spread, thousands of supporters united in prayer for him and his family. Messages of encouragement poured in from churches, fellow musicians, pastors, and fans from every continent. His family thanked everyone for standing beside them during the difficult journey, saying every prayer and every kind message became a source of strength as Brian underwent treatment and pain management. According to his family, Brian passed away peacefully in his sleep at his family home on the morning of July 21, surrounded by those who loved him most. His wife, Joyce Doerksen, later shared an emotional statement describing his final hours. Rather than focusing on fear or suffering, she explained that Brian remained filled with gratitude. Even while battling advanced cancer, he continued encouraging family members, expressing appreciation to the doctors and nurses who cared for him, and reminding those around him of God's faithfulness. His loved ones described him as a beacon of light whose gentle spirit never faded despite the physical challenges he faced. Although Brian did not leave behind a formal public farewell speech, the words shared by his family have become the message many believers now associate with his final days. Joyce reflected that until his final breath, Brian continued loving people, encouraging them in their own calling and expressing heartfelt thankfulness. For those who knew him personally, those actions reflected the very themes that defined his songwriting throughout his career: faith, hope, surrender, and worship. News of Brian's death immediately prompted an extraordinary wave of tributes throughout the Christian music world. Worship leaders, recording artists, pastors, and songwriters shared personal memories of the man whose music shaped countless church services. Many described him as one of the pioneers of modern worship music, crediting him with writing songs that united believers across denominations and cultures. Darlene Zshet shared that Brian's songs had become part of the spiritual journey of millions of Christians worldwide, describing him as a humble servant whose music always pointed people toward God rather than himself. Matt Redman remembered Brian as a gifted songwriter with a generous heart who encouraged countless worship leaders through both his music and his personal example. Jen Johnson expressed gratitude for the lasting impact Brian's ministry had on worship around the world, while Pat Barrett praised his authenticity and unwavering devotion to serving the church. Friends consistently described Brian as someone who never sought fame, despite the worldwide success of his music. His songs became staples in churches across North America, Europe, Asia, Africa, Australia, and South America. Yet those closest to him said he remained approachable, generous, and deeply committed to serving others rather than promoting himself. That humility became one of the qualities most frequently mentioned in the tributes following his passing. Church leaders also reflected on Brian's remarkable influence. Many pastors shared stories of how his songs helped congregations worship during life's most significant moments, including weddings, baptisms, memorial services, and times of personal healing. Others recalled meeting Brian at conferences and being struck not by his achievements, but by his kindness, patience, and willingness to mentor younger worship leaders. As of the latest update, Brian's family has not announced plans for a large public funeral service. Instead, they have focused on spending time together privately, while expressing gratitude for the overwhelming support they have received from around the world. No official details regarding a public memorial, burial service, or live-stream funeral have been confirmed. The family has respectfully requested privacy as they continue to grieve, while thanking supporters for their prayers and encouragement. Even without a public funeral announcement, churches across several countries have already begun organizing memorial worship gatherings in Brian's honor. Congregations have been singing "Come, Now is the Time to Worship **************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************** and many of his other beloved songs as a way of celebrating his extraordinary life and ministry. Rather than focusing solely on grief, these gatherings have become celebrations of a man whose greatest desire was always to lead others into God's presence. Perhaps the greatest testimony to Brian Doerksen's legacy is the enduring influence of his music. His worship songs continue to be sung every week in thousands of churches across the globe. For countless believers, those songs marked significant moments of faith, bringing comfort during difficult seasons and joy during moments of celebration. Beyond songwriting, Brian also invested deeply in mentoring emerging worship leaders. He encouraged young musicians to write songs rooted in scripture, authenticity, and a genuine desire to glorify God instead of seeking personal recognition. Those who attended his workshops often remembered his gentle encouragement and practical wisdom, lessons that continue to shape a new generation of worship songwriters. Family members have expressed sincere appreciation for the countless prayers offered throughout Brian's illness and after his passing. They acknowledged that the worldwide response demonstrated just how profoundly his ministry had touched lives over many decades. Supporters continue sharing personal testimonies about how Brian's music strengthened their faith during seasons of loss, illness, uncertainty, and hope. Today, Brian Doerksen is remembered not simply as an award-winning songwriter, but as a faithful servant whose music became the soundtrack of worship for generations of Christians. His final days reflected the same faith he wrote about throughout his life, a faith marked by gratitude, humility, compassion, and unwavering trust in God. Though his earthly voice has fallen silent, the songs he left behind continue to fill churches around the world, ensuring that his legacy of worship, hope, and faith will continue inspiring believers for generations to come.